Hello, Mavericks. This is Rob Reinhold. It is nice to see you here, and we are going to be discussing the first letter in your personality test that you took, and it basically is your energy level. Now, you either got an E or an I. So let's kind of go into what these are, and I really wanted to clear up this concept of energy because we've heard these terms extrovert and introvert. And the first thing people usually think of is the extrovert, the person at the party, jumping around, yelling, wanting to be the center of attention. And the introvert over in the corner, not talking to anyone and being shy. Okay, those are maybe some traits of this energy, but that is definitely not all of it. Introverts can be very outgoing and very cheerful and very happy and be the life of the party. And extroverts may want to be alone a lot of the time. I really want to focus on what this energy is. It's the source and direction of your energy expression. Extroverts, they get it from the external world. So an extrovert, they like to go to festivals, they like to go to concerts, they like to get their stimulus from the outside world. An introvert, they prefer their stimulus from their internal world. They like things like thoughts and intellectualism and books and reading and having very intimate conversations with a close friend. This is where they want to receive their stimulus from an internal world. This is basically how we prefer to receive our stimulus in the world. Extroverts love stimulus from the outside world. And in the world of trading, boy, this really fits an introvert well because there are so many blinky lights. There are so many charts running. There's so much news coming out. This is exactly what extroverts love. They love the markets. And a lot of times the extroverts, they hate the weekends. They hate the weekends. There's no blinky lights, there's no anything, and they cannot wait until Monday morning, Sunday when the market's open, and they can all of a sudden receive that stimulus again. Extroverts love action, they love volatility, and because they want to be active, they tend to lean towards short-term trading. And since extroverts love stimulation, they love to watch the prices move because they're constantly getting new data, and they're constantly bringing in new data to think about and analyze in order for them to make a good decision in the future. To wrap this all up, experts love external stimulus. Extroverts have a lot of strengths. The first one is they're energetic. When extroverts find something they like and they're passionate about, they have endless amounts of energy. I know a lot of extroverts hate when the markets close at the end of the day or at the end of the week because they still have more energy to bring. They aren't afraid to take risks. They're loving the action and stimulus that trading brings. Extroverted traders do really well in trading groups and really well in competitive environments. This is why they've set up Wall Street like they do with the trading floors to bring in a bunch of people who are most likely extroverts, put them in the same room, and have them sharing ideas, challenging each other, and to see who is going to be the winner. It really pushes them to trading excellence. As I said earlier, their energy has no bounds when it comes to something that they love. They will put in countless hours into something because it captures their excitement and it captures their mind. The biggest strength of an introvert is this boundless energy. They can go forever, and it drives them to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort into this business, which is always a positive. Every personality trait has both strengths and weaknesses. You can't get away from it. So all those wonderful things about an extrovert, it creates some actual weaknesses here. The first one is they're always looking for data. Remember, extroverts are always searching and looking for new data, new stimulus. And so what happens is they're always watching and they're listening to TV and they're listening to this and this. And that stimulus is going to go into their brain and they're going to process it and they're going to make a new decision that might be different than the decision they just made an hour ago. And the one they did an hour ago was built with logic and reason, and this one is now because some new data came in and they want to make a quick decision. This causes them to get shaken out of a lot of trades or sell winners too early because they saw some new stimulus. Extroverts who are trading by themselves, at home, all alone with no one else to talk to, they seek out more stimulus. So they really like to go into things like chat rooms. They love to get streaming news services where they can get news reports the second it happens. All of this is just to try to get out of boredom. They don't like boredom, they need stimulus. And by going to these places, they're going to receive more stimulus, which, as we just talked about before, will cause them to possibly break their rules because of some new information that came in. Because they're always looking for new data, whatever comes in, again, from chat rooms, from news sources, they're constantly scanning for this, and it's going to cause them to make bad decisions because the stimulus of right here, right now was different than the stimulus of an hour ago. Extroverts need to be very cautious of this. And the number one bane of extroverts is overtrading. I'm an extrovert. I struggled with this quite a bit in the beginning because I always needed to have money on the line. Because if I didn't have money on the line, I didn't have the risk. I didn't have the feelings. And so I found trades as fast as I possibly could because I wanted those feelings of stimulus. Because I was so much more alive when I had money on the line than when I was in all cash in my account and I was sitting on the sidelines. I wanted to get in the game because the game was fun and exciting. Understand that if you're a strong extrovert like me, you are wired to do this. We have a video on overtrading. I highly recommend you watch that video if you are an extrovert. It talks about ways to not overtrade. And basically, it talks about you love stimulus, you need to find a different stimulus. You need to find other stimulus that you enjoy and replace that to keep your mind occupied. Extroverts make fantastic traders, but there's definitely some tough things in the beginning. You have to get your overtrading under control. You have to get to the point where you no longer listen to what anyone else says. You just trade your trading system. Introverts prefer energy that goes on inside. Very intellectual. Introverts are always thinking. They're always thinking about things, they're always mulling things over, and they're always challenging their prior beliefs and their overall trading goals. Because of this, introverts are patient, they wait for things, they're very thoughtful, which means they don't like the fast-paced trading style. They're going to lean towards something a little bit longer, a little bit more boring, and they love strategies with built-in trade management. Now, what that means is they basically set it and forget it, which means they don't have to sit there and watch it all day because introverts have better things to do with their time than sit and watch a screen. They don't want to see that stimulus. They don't want it. They have better things to do. Trading is a complete mental game. And introverts have a lot of advantages when it comes to that because their whole world is internal. That's what they've always liked in their life is everything that's internal. And so what happens is they're very comfortable in this intellectual thought process because this is what they've done their whole life. They understand the system, they understand what they're trying to accomplish, and they're willing to wait for that perfect opportunity, which is really hard for extroverts. One of the most difficult things to do is to talk an introvert out of the trade they're currently in. They've already thought about it. They've already discussed everything internally. They've already thought about all the things that can happen. They are very difficult to get them to deviate from their trading plan. That's a real strength of introverts, is that they plan their trade and they trade their plan. Trading for an introvert is more of an intellectual challenge, like a puzzle that they're trying to figure out. And they're just going to be patient and they're just going to put in the work and they're just going to keep going until they figure this puzzle out. They're very good at understanding why and how things happen. As you can see, introverts are built for trading. They think internally. This is a complete mental profession, and really the most action you get is moving a finger to click a mouse button. That's it. So while they are fantastic at those parts of trading, there are definitely some weaknesses with introverts. Introverts don't like external stimulus. My wife is more of an introvert. She doesn't love concerts. She does not like to go to New York City. I love it. She doesn't. Whenever there's too much stimulus, my wife gets overwhelmed and she basically shuts down. And this is what happens with traders. Traders who are strong introverts, when the market is going normal and slow and easy, it's very comfortable and calm. But when markets start to go crazy, it's too much for the introverts. And so they basically throw their hands up and say, I'm just going to go to cash and I'll just wait it out until it makes more sense. They do not like that pressure of volatile markets, of fast-moving markets, and really uncertainty of what's going to happen in the future. Introverts don't really love working in groups. Again, they've already figured it out. They've already thought about it. They've already considered everything. Why do they need someone else to bounce their ideas off? Because they've already worked through it. And so to try to get them to work in trading groups and with other people, it sometimes is very difficult because they don't see it as necessary and they just see it as a waste of time. Since everything has always been internal for the introverts, they're always thinking, they're always challenging their own thoughts and beliefs, which causes them to have a lot of self-doubt. Introverts love certainty. Trading is uncertain in its nature. And so this really is difficult for an introvert because they only like to act in times of certainty. Here's the problem. There is absolutely no certainty in this market. We have no idea what's actually going to happen, which is actually the number one weakness of the introvert, is they are wired to always be in their own head. They're constantly thinking about their decisions and what they're going to do, which leads to doubt because, as I said, they love certainty and they hate uncertainty. This leads to paralysis by analysis. This leads to them being hesitant to make a new trade because, I need to get one more data point. I need to get one more indicator. I need to get one more thing. And until they can feel that certainty, they're not going to act. Introverts need to understand that nobody has any idea of what is going to happen in the market. A lot of people think they know, but the truth is once you click that button to buy or sell, you have no control. News could come out a second after you click that button that could dramatically affect what happened in the world. We don't know. Introverts need to embrace that and say, okay, I know that the market is a big wild animal. There's nothing I can do to predict that, but I'm just going to make sure that what I do is perfect, and I'm going to focus on the process, and I'll let the results take care of themselves. When you look at extroverts and introverts side by side, you can see the differences between the two. The extroverts need to be slowed down a little bit, and the introverts sometimes need to be sped up a little bit and pushed. Both of these personality types have lots of great things about trading, and then both of them carry some things that you need to look out for. From the test, it will tell you what you are, extrovert or introvert. Take that insight internally, learn from that, and again, you're going to build your trading system around this. Do not try to trade like an extrovert if you're an introvert, and vice versa. It's never going to work. You will fail at it all the time. Thanks for joining me, and that wraps up our session on energy. In the next video, we're going to take a look at your next letter in your personality score, which is how you process data. See you then. Goodbye.